If I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. V. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the devil. I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing.
There you have it, Paul Harvey. I believe that was like 1962 or 65 or 68. Sometime. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Welcome to the Patriot Hour. I am Michael, your host. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by, folks. Thanks for giving us some of your time. I know you are busy in your day-to-day. Here it is, Tuesday. Interesting Paul Harvey flashback there, folks. Again, always think for yourself here at the Patriot Hour. We encourage you to think for yourself and come to your own conclusions based off all the facts. Do your own research, connect all your own dots. Logic, all right? Use logic, facts. You're going to listen to everybody you want, watch everything you can, but you're not going to believe none of it until you can verify it. No more. The day of getting spoon-fed auto-truth from the mainstream is dead. It's over. They are dead. Okay, so I'll pull this article up here from DC Dirty Laundry, and I don't have a desktop capture up, so give me 1 second. And that is 2. All right, here we go. Widescreen. All right, so DC Dirty Laundry flashback. Paul Harvey. Take that off. Paul Harvey, if I were the devil, and the 45 goals for the communist takeover of America. Okay, here we go. This is from Dean Garrison today, just a little bit ago. I think it was like an hour, 45 minutes ago. I don't know how many of our readers will have had the pleasure of listening to the great Paul Harvey. His radio show was a tradition at my house as a child, and I am really grateful that my parents made it so. Thanks to www.birthreport.com, I came across this video that was aired on Sean Hannity's show earlier this week, and Mr. Paul Harvey represented excellence in broadcasting that never may be seen again. Mr. Harvey was one of my early mentors, and he, as much as anyone, taught me how to think for myself. I miss this man more than you know. So let me just see here. Okay, so let me grab this. It's a 3-minute video. We'll watch this as well. Folks, I saw this article. I haven't even read it yet, and I quickly grabbed the Paul Harvey that I know. Not, that I haven't listened to more, but the most common one, If I Were the Devil. So I thought that was interesting with just everything going on. So now we're going to listen to this one. I got it pulled up here, so give me 1 second.
It was posted on FoxNation.com.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
And welcome back to Hannity. There was no competition. We have selected tonight's video of the day after seeing the overwhelming response that it received when it was posted on FoxNation.com. It is the great Paul Harvey's chilling warning for America. It was adapted from his 1964 newspaper column, recorded again in 1995, but it has never been more pertinent than on this day in the year 2013.
If I were the devil.
Okay, so we already did hear that. That's the same one I grabbed. All right, so we'll get back at it here. All right, so now that link's going to play the video. It was just happened to be off Sean Hannity. I have never heard this piece before today, despite being a longtime Paul Harvey fan. 50 years ago, there was a portion of a book entitled The Naked Communist entered into the congressional record. I would bet my bottom dollar that Harvey was well acquainted with that book. It was a warning for America in that particular case. It was labeled as the 45 Goals for the Communist Takeover of America. Flashback, Paul Harvey, If I Were the Devil, and the 45 Goals for the Communist Takeover of America. I write about this stuff a lot and catch a lot of grief for it. The problem is that a lot of people don't want to swallow the whole pill. For instance, a lot of people accept most of the list but feel that the Bible really is obsolete. Some would accept most of the immoralities but don't feel that the homosexuality is wrong. The truth is the truth. Isn't that the truth? So, the truth is the truth. Cleon Sukskin was not an authority on all things, but he knew exactly how communists were planning to break down this country. It hurts to look at this list and know that I have played a part in it. For instance, I am divorced. It pains me that I can't be with my 2 oldest girls every day. I have been part of the problem, and I must admit that. Until we all admit our own faults, nothing gets done. Ain't that the truth? To fix a problem, you must first acknowledge it and acknowledge your part in it. Ain't that the truth? All right, we'll keep reading here. I got a lot I could say, but all right. So at any rate, here is a list of the 45 goals of the communist takeover of America. I thought today might be a good day to look at them again because I think it is perfect complement to Harvey's message. So 1, U.S. acceptance of coexistence as the only alternative to atomic war. 2, U.S. willingness to capitulate in a preference to engaging in atomic war. 3, develop the illusion that the total disarmament by the United States would be a demonstration of moral strength. 4, permit free trade between all nations regardless of communist affiliation and regardless of whether or not items could be used for war. 5, extension of long-term loans to Russia and Soviet satellites. 6, provide American aid to all nations regardless of communist domination or domination. 7, grant recognition of Red China, admission of Red China to the UN. 8, set up East and West Germany as separate states in spite of Kirchhoff's promise in 1955 to settle the German question by free elections under supervision of the UN, United Nations. 9, prolong the conferences to ban atomic tests because the United States has agreed to suspend tests as long as negotiations are in progress. 10, allow all Soviet satellite individual representation in the UN. 11, promote the UN as the only hope for mankind. If its charter is rewritten, demand that it be set up as a one-world government with its own independent armed forces. Some communist leaders believe that the world can be taken over as easily by the UN as by Moscow. Sometimes these two centers compete with each other, as they are now doing in the Congo. 12, resist any attempt to outlaw the Communist Party. 13, do away with all loyalty oaths. Number 14, continue giving Russia access to the U.S. Patent Office. 15, capture one or both of the political parties in the United States. 16, use technical decisions of the courts to weaken basic American institutions by claiming their activities violate civil rights. We're seeing this every day. 17, get control of the schools. That's sad. Use them as a transmission belts for socialism and current communist propaganda. Soften the curriculum. Get control of teachers' associations. Put the party line in the textbooks. Sounds a lot like Agenda or Common Core, part of the Agenda 21. The Common Core was tucked into that. That has happened. 18, gain control of all student newspapers. 19, use student riots to foment public protest against programs or organizations which are under communist attack. 20, infiltrate the press, get control of the book review assignments and editorial writing, policy making positions. 20, infiltrate the press, get control of the book. I just read that. 21, get control of the key positions in radio, TV, and motion picture. They've done that. That's why some of us independents are here, folks. It's the whole reason I'm here, to give you the truth. So anyway, 21, 22, continue discrediting American culture by degrading, let me get this back on there, all forms of artistic expression. An American communist cell was told to eliminate all good sculpture form from parks and buildings. Ooh, isn't that happening now? Eliminate all good sculpture from parks and buildings. Substitute shapeless, awkward, and meaningless forms. Have you not seen that going on? Take a look around your city, folks. Next time you're driving downtown, going by the parks and things, look at these obscure, just crazy statues they're putting up. Meaningless, right? 23, control art critics and directors of art museums. Our plan is to promote ugliness, repulsive, meaningless art. 24, eliminate all laws governing obscenity by calling them censorship and violation of free speech and free press. Break down cultural standards of morality by promoting pornography and obscenity in books, magazines, motion pictures, radio, and TV. 26, present homosexuality, degradacy, and promiscuity as normal, natural, and healthy. Infiltrate the churches and replace revealed religion with social religion. Discredit the Bible and emphasize the need for intellectual maturity, which does not need a religious crutch. 28, eliminate prayer of any phase of religious expression in the schools on the ground that is violates the principle of separation of church and state. 29, discredit the American Constitution by calling it inadequate, old-fashioned, out of step with the modern needs, a hindrance to cooperation between nations on a worldwide basis. Unbelievable. That has happened many a times by the presidents in the past. 30. Discredit the American founding fathers, present them as selfish aristocrats who had no concern for the common man. 31. Belittle all forms of American culture and discourage the teaching of the American history on the ground that it was only a minor part of the big picture. Give more emphasis to Russian history since the communists took over. 32. Support any socialist movement to give centralized control over any part of the culture, education, social agencies, welfare programs, mental health clinics, etc., so on and so forth. 33. Eliminate all laws or procedures which interfere with the operation of the communist apparatus. 34. Eliminate, that was 33. 34. Eliminate the House Committee on Un-American Activities. 35. Discredit and eventually dismantle the FBI. 36. Infiltrate and gain control of more unions. 37. Infiltrate and gain control of big business. 38. Transfer some of the powers of arrest from the police to the social agencies. Treat all behavioral problems as psychiatric disorders, which no one but psychiatrists can understand or treat. 39. Dominate the psychiatric profession and use mental health laws as a means of gaining coercive control over those who oppose communistic goals. 40. Discredit the family as an institution, encourage promiscuity and easy divorce. 41. Emphasize the need to raise children away from the negative influence of the parents. Attribute prejudices, mental blocks of retarding of children to suppressive influences of parents. 42. Create the impression that the violence and insurrection are legitimate aspects of the American tradition, that students and special interest groups should rise up and use united force to solve economic, political, or social problems. 43. Overthrow all colonial governments before native populations are ready for self-government. 44. Internationalize the Panama Canal. 45. Repeal the Canali Reservation so the United States cannot prevent the World Court from seizing jurisdiction over domestic problems. Give World Court jurisdiction over nations and individuals alike. Almost every one of these things on the list has either been achieved or is very close to being achieved. A few don't seem completely relevant in 2013, but at one time I'm sure they were. We all have opinions, but I think it's pretty simple. We look at a socialist push in this country, and we look at Obamacare package that we do not want, and we want to blame everyone but ourselves. We created this. The breakdown of morality is in socially created this. They can push any lousy idea that they want to now because the morally bankrupt people in this country outnumber God's people. This will not be easy to fix, but it can be done. It's about consistency. You do not only obey the parts of the Constitution or the parts of God's law that you want to obey. It's not a Chinese buffet. Everything was put there for a reason. And now you know the rest of the story. So, it's about consistency. You do not only obey the parts of the Constitution or the parts of the Bible of God's law that you like. So, that's how they're closing that one down. Good article. Paul Harvey, I know some of you grew up remembering that, listening to it. Leave your comments down below. We're already at the 20-minute mark, so I'll shut this one down, folks. Interesting, spooky, 1960, and he had so much right with that. If I were the devil that I opened up with. So, again, give this a thumbs up, folks. Help us beat the algorithms. Share this across all social media platforms while you can. We are heavily shadow banned here at the Patriot Hour on YouTube. So by you sharing, giving it a thumbs up on your way out, leaving a comment, really sticks it to them. and lets them know that this is the information that you want to get. So again, if you're returning, welcome back. Some of the greatest Patriots I ever met. Love you guys. If you're new, if you're a newbie, if you're an FNG, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe, ring the bell, get all the alerts. We go live. We have a backup channel called the Patriot Tech. Get over there to that, find it, and we'll see you here on the next Patriot Hour Update video coming real soon later on. You guys have a great evening. See you back here real soon.